And we're back. Bitcoin Liberty Live. Daniel's back. In town from Adventures. Went to Santa Monica. And we talked a bit about that last time. But settled in, looking at all kinds of life directions. So
yeah, life direction 101.
Bitcoin remains creepy crawly sideways at about 69,420. Well,
yeah, bro.
We saw some gains just recently.
Gains, bro.
And then it loses some gains, and then we gain some gains, and then I just stopped paying attention.
I stopped a long time ago. Every once in a while, I log into Twitter and I look, or X, whatever, and I look around and I go, oh, wait a minute, the price moved, because everyone's talking about it. And then I'm always sitting there just like, how long is it going to be before the 69K gang comes back, or the 58K gang comes back?
58K to 68K.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. It will go up like 4 or 5% in a day, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And
it can crash 20% in a day. Like, yeah. Let's just relax a little bit and remember why we're all here.
Yeah.
You come for the gains, you stay for the revolution, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not still joining because of the numbers here. We're staying because of the.
I'll ride that thing to zero. I don't give a hoot. My mom watches this, by the way.
Perfect.
Regular listener. But I got to start minding my P's and Q's, man, because I'm like cursing all the time.
Does she go, why do you curse so much?
Yeah. Well, she doesn't like it, you know. She's a good Christian woman.
Good.
And does not like the curse words, but I do. I drop them a lot.
Yeah, the price will go up a little bit in fiat, and people are like, boom, we're at 770, next stop 100,000. We're going, it's spring loaded, it's ready to pop. And I'm just like, maybe. And no.
Not before the election. I don't think we're going to get the big pump until we get the big panic. There's got to be a panic first. And by panic, I mean everyone needs to be going, oh my God, the world's going to end. And then they can really fire up the money printer, and that's when you get your pump.
And then the uncommitted folks that haven't been in for too long sell it all because they got to, buy some ammo or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Or some toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's probably
which won't be on the shelves because the truckers certainly won't be going into cities because the dumpster fires are going to light their rig. Yeah. And they're like, no thanks, don't need the crowd stopping our truck, pulling us out of the truck. I'm not getting your toilet paper out of the supply station and bringing it back to your little shit town.
Yeah.
We're just going to park for a while.
GFY.
Yeah. Election, I sort of see the election not being certified for a while either.
No, I don't know. I think it's just going to, I really hope it's like a legit red wave. The problem is like just out front there's some dingbat. It's always these old like Lexus liberal dingbats that are sporting the Harris Wall sticker. And it's like the people that are most economically disconnected from reality on earth. Like some boomer Lexus liberal. Harris Walls is like, what are you talking about? Like of course you like Harris Walls because you're a banana head. Like you're so out of touch with reality.
What was there was like a profile of 3 stereotypical lefties. It was white women, beta men, and the Lexus liberals.
Yeah.
That was kind of the 3 main ones, I think.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, like, there was some gal, I can't remember her name, Pearl H. Davis or something like that. Kind of a neat chick, I don't know. But she was going around interviewing people. She went up to somebody and said, hey, can I ask you some questions? It was like all these people waiting in line to go vote for Harris, basically. And this one chick said, what's your name? She said, Pearl. Like, no, get away. So I guess this chick's got a reputation. I don't know. But she went around and said, hey, what's a policy of Harris's that you like? I don't like Trump. Okay. And like every single person that they talk to.
What is the policy anyway?
There is no policy. The policy's been on full display for the last 4 years.
There's not even dressing on this word salad.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's just a dry word salad.
Just wait till we're in. You'll find out.
Yeah, you'll find out.
You'll find out.
Welcome to World War III. Like, you're literally voting for World War III or a guy who's kind of a potato. Like, that's it. I mean, and the thing is when I first was introduced to the idea of Trump, like before the first election, I posted on Facebook, back when I still engaged with that platform, I said, President Trump. and this was probably 2015 or something like that. My left-leaning friends had a collective apoplexy. They had a collective heart seizure.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It'll never happen. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't think you guys get where you're at right now.
People are still there.
Well, the thing is, all the people that were raging against me, these are all people that have jobs and own houses and aren't really struggling, right? Like, they don't go to the grocery store and go, God, these prices, I can't buy food for my kids this week. There are people that are like, oh, it's a little more expensive. I'm going to go get a latte later. And they don't think about it, right? Like, I
care a lot about people, but like, I don't really have to deal with any of the problems.
People, right.
So somebody deal with it, and actually I'd like bigger government to do that.
Yeah.
That's how.
Well, they're completely disconnected from the economic reality of probably 70% of Americans right now, right? So they're in the upper crust, basically. They just don't realize it. And they don't like thinking about themselves being in the upper crust, but they are.
Well, and I think as the money printers go and the dollar debases, I just think they're going to, at some point, we're all going to feel it to the extent that different people do as that starts to become more apparent. And then that's where I think there's a shift happening because it's become more apparent. It's harder to ignore. It's harder to ignore Bitcoin. And it's just like you have to be deliberately now kind of trying to ignore what the problem is. And you're just holding on to what you thought you believed. And that's just all it is. And so what's the policy? What does work? How does that work? Well, it's not Trump.
Right.
All the problems in the world. Or the
Trump.
debasement, everything I'm feeling about that. It's
well, they don't even know about
Biden.
the debasement.
I mean, it can't be Biden.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think they're that sophisticated, man. They're just
it's emotion and feeling and
bots. They're just
stuff
parroting bots. I mean, they just beep boop, Trump bad, beep boop, Trump bad, beep boop, Trump bad.
There will be a huge pressure relief when it's over, and also riots in the streets.
Nah. They weren't last time, and they weren't the time before that. So, well, they kind of were last time, I guess.
Even if it's just, even if there were no huge allegations of fraud, and it was like, no, the elections seem to have gone off reasonably without hitches, and nothing apparent like this is a fraud.
Right.
And there's a red wave. It's a red wave and a sweep. It's Reagan's second term, and it's like, well, okay, people spoke. It's not too fraudulent. Portland is going to catch fire.
Maybe.
I see Antifa coming back and whatever down with whatever coming back and LARPing cosplay, like managing their white guilt with anti whatever
is the flavor of that month.
So, and I see that going on for a while.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm
just used to Portland. I think about Portland and dumpster fires.
Yeah, well, it's just an outdoor garbage pit, so kind of. Who cares, right? Let it burn.
I wouldn't worry about it. At the same time, I'd be like, how long do we have to tolerate this, or do I just ignore it?
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't have to deal with it, right? Just got to fly in and out of it. I mean, probably by the end of this month, I won't have to deal with this lunatic state at all.
Big plans.
Big plans. Yeah, I think you're going to bounce, man. I was actually thinking about Ohio. Like, I looked at River was advertising a client associate something or another. I was like, oh.
I looked at jobs at River, and but then it's like, well, it's not virtual, remote. It's in Ohio.
Yeah, but that's what I looked at. I was like, oh, I wonder what it costs to live in Ohio. You can buy a house in Ohio for like $140,000, dude.
I can see a good cost of living, yeah.
Dude, it's insane. It's a nice city. I was like, what? Hell yeah, I'll move. I actually put in an application. I was like, oh, I'll go back and work for a Bitcoin company. What the hell?
Toledo, the Orlando
Columbus.
of Ohio. Columbus, the Orlando of
Ohio. I don't know. It looked pretty nice. I was kind of like, yeah, it's not bad. Pretty good.
No, it's dare to dream. I love thinking that way. Also, I'm somewhat stuck myself. I'm more entangled. I have entanglements.
Yeah,
so
I am completely disentangled.
You're free.
I'm like a little floaty, twittery bee. Ooh, I almost gave away some super secret stuff.
We have a thing on the table. We cannot lift too high because...
I already lifted it too high. It's already in the frame.
Uh-oh.
Maybe you can put a little blur over it.
I'll blur it out. Just wait, folks. Oh, my goodness. The next big...
the next Bitcoin revolution is here.
Yeah. And the conference coming up in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. That's my goal. My goal is to get to Abu Dhabi.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot as shit. You gotta learn some Arabic.
In a couple months?
Yeah, I think it's like 2 months. I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be hot?
Dude, it's already...
In December, January?
Dude, it's...
I don't know what the weather is there.
Really?
I mean, I've heard it's dry and hot, so...
Yeah, it's like the Sahara Desert, dude. That's... Yeah, that is... Your balls...
I think it's cold there sometimes.
No. No, it does not. It's absolutely
It's New Year's Day and it's 90 degrees.
You'd be lucky if it's 110. I mean, it gets scorching hot there.
So the people going to that conference have got to be some well-off Bitcoiners.
Probably. I mean, going to Abu Dhabi in general seems like a pretty cool thing to do. It's like the Middle East free trade zone, basically. So there's a reason why all the businesses and all the sort of go-getters are going to Abu Dhabi. But, yeah, I imagine whoever's going to be at that Bitcoin conference probably won't be people like me.
You could fit in just fine. You got to get yourself a nice robe, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've never been to the Middle East, so I feel like this would be a great opportunity to do so. And hopefully my amazing new Bitcoin invention will be ready to go by then. I can sell it. Mm-hmm. I want to set up a booth there, man.
Yeah. Get a booth.
Yeah.
Move some movement.
I was also thinking I could include my book with my...
Yeah, bring the book.
Yeah.
There were
free
some
signed
copies of books in Santa Monica. They had the library there.
Yeah, that was fun. Santa Monica was weird, dude.
How so?
Yeah, the whole thing was just sort of...
Not a conference. It was kind of an unconference, or...
Yeah, it was more kind of like... I don't know how to describe it. I diverted a lot of my attention from that conference to golf. Like, there's a lot of, like, sitting there going, I could listen to these people talk about this stuff that I've heard 400 times. Or I could just go to that golf course right around the corner.
Some conference events, when you're well along in the path, you're really looking for that next set of, like, philosophical steps or big movements. And I would love to go to any conference I can all the time. But yeah, even the best conference you go to, and I'm like, I get it. I'm already here. I'm just, 2-3 years ago, I'd be still learning some of the early stuff and seeing people for the first time.
Yeah.
And it'd be like,
wow,
I just love it all. I'm going to go to everything.
Yeah.
And then when you've been listening to every podcast of every guy, and then you see them, and now sometimes there's a new little angle on something, or Sailor's got a little new different wrinkle on something. Or,
yeah.
Oh, Trump came to speak. Okay. RFK, hey, I'll listen to that.
Yeah.
A lot of the general stuff, it's like head nodding. Yep. No, we know.
Fiat bad, Bitcoin good. Fiat bad, Bitcoin good. Fiat bad, Bitcoin good. I think I should get that on a shirt. Fiat bad, Bitcoin good. All right. Let's spell good like G-U-D.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, Bitcoin Prague, that was awesome. It was just a great experience, and it wasn't so much about like sitting there watching the people give their little, 5-minute speeches, whatever. It's like, it was just more about vibing and kind of being around and just meeting new people and kind of talking here and there, and just, but you get to, like, I got to meet Adam Back, which was sort of like, I was a little, like, you can see the picture I took with him. I'm kind of like, like, I look like an asshole, but, but I mean, it's pretty cool to just be kind of in the same room as that guy. Bitcoin Prague was cool because they had that upstairs sort of venue, like the VIP area. So it was like 100 people. It was super cozy, and you get to watch like Sailor talk and Adam Back talk, and you can actually interact with them. And so that was all pretty awesome. But that main stage stuff, after you've heard it like once or twice or 10 times or whatever, it gets a little like,
Yeah, the Portland conference too, Bitcoin is for everybody. It was great.
Yeah, you got to meet Jeff Booth.
It was a small venue, got to really one-on-one with awesome people. Yeah, Jeff Booth and others. And the intimacy was cool. And then they had, 9 a.m. over here, Bitcoin 101. It's like, no. Security. We have basic, obvious security you think about. Right. We're thinking beyond into new ideas on security. And it's just like, I'm already thinking like beyond the basics. So it's kind of like security talk. And security 101. There were some interesting ideas on like non-KYC Bitcoin accumulation and getting real with that. And that's a whole area that I think about, but I don't have routines about. So things to think about, but a lot of one-on-one stuff. A lot of it, it's the networking, the environment.
Well, that was the sort of strange thing about Santa Monica is like I literally didn't recognize anybody, dude. Like Matt Crowder was there. I didn't see him, and I missed his talk because I was golfing.
He has it online.
Oh, does he?
One of his videos the week after that, I think he basically put it out. He went through his PowerPoint and spoke through it.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny. It's like hardcore Bitcoin maxi. Like how do you message Bitcoin trollish in a way as he is? But it's very maxi. I found it entertaining, but
I think that guy's brilliant, man. I really, really enjoy like his educational stuff.
I can't believe he does daily. I mean, I don't know what days he takes off, but damn near daily he's got
some new video.
And it's off the cuff narrative. He makes notes and everything, but he's dialed in being able to speak to the microphone as he's clicking, and it's seamless. And informative. It's not kind of words. It's not like filling in time.
Right.
It's
just boom, 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 boom.
He is smart.
Yeah, super impressive guy. I wish I could have met him there. I was a little disappointed that I prioritized golf over that.
And you saw Corey Clipston?
Yeah, I met Corey. I got to meet. There's this really fascinating woman there, Laura. Hi, Laura. If you're watching this, probably not, but she's an older lady. I think she said she's about 78. Just super vibrant, amazing woman. Really, really fun to talk to. I was sitting there jibber jabbering with her for a little while, and I was kind of like, "Hey, what brings you here? That's kind of cool." I was like, "Where's your daughter?" kind of thing, right? And she's like, "No, I just came out here from North Carolina, and
she's a swan."
She was a Swan client, but that was the sort of trippy thing. Is like I watched the Swan guys come around, and they were just sort of like,
Laura.
Yeah. Oh, they paid a lot of attention to Laura. But then when I kind of put the pieces together, I was like, oh, she's a high net worth client. Oh, okay.
What I love about Adam back to mention people showing up places. I love for someone who's kind of at the feet of Satoshi and people speculate about. I just love his personality and his energy. He's sort of aloof, but so he's very out there and he's everywhere and he talks, but his personality and communication is very just kind of cool and aloof. Yeah. I love that about him.
Chill guy.
Yeah, chill, not trolly, totally maxish, but not toxic.
But he's super. He's got FU money, right? So
sure,
you can do anything you want when you got FU money.
And I love that he's got that, and he doesn't act all weird about it. Yeah. He's still out there.
Well, he's essentially anonymous, right? Like that's the beauty of being like a Bitcoin gojillionaire is like nobody knows you or gives a shit, right? Like if you're the head of JP Morgan, like everybody knows you, right? Like if you're the head of something, everybody knows you. If you just made a truck ton of money in Bitcoin, like you're essentially anonymous except amongst Bitcoiners.
Yeah.
And if you're not a person who's out there like promoting it, talking about it, blah, blah, you're just in the background, like you're invisible. Like nobody knows you got money. Nobody cares, right? So it's kind of neat.
And Satoshi was revealed just recently.
Who is this guy now?
Mola or some Indian guy. It was.
I am the Satoshi. It's like, what are you doing? Fucking retard.
I just learned Bitcoin and I'm not here to fix it. I actually made it.
Yeah, I created it.
And I'm very disappointed with where Bitcoin. It's like, fuck you, dude. Who are you?
How about you unlock that million coins and then we'll talk.
Don't even make a transaction. Just sign a message with that private key.
Yeah. Make a transaction. Send somebody some sats, man.
Send a sat. That'd be amazing. Who cares?
Send 1 Bitcoin to Coinbase.
I was trying to, in my head, thinking about the psychopath personality that exists in the world that people have at various levels. Whether you're like whether you're a nutty CEO or a pharmaceutical salesman, or there's something in that track where you're like narcissistic or something, and then you sort of have a creative imagination at a spiritual level almost about what reality is, and you, like Craig Wright, just convincing yourself that
he was running a hustle.
At some level you're sorting out the hustle, and then at another level you've said these things so much so long and you have to believe it. Maybe you do.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, like, if you can enrich yourself through some shady means like that, well, whatever. I mean, like,
But there's people that want to do that. Like they have no shame about trying.
Yeah. Let's fling it out there. What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, who knows? I kind of am revolted by those personalities, but yet
gross.
I still look at it and I go, well, there's your libertarian free market right in action right there, buddy. Like, just go out and say any goddamn thing you want, do any goddamn thing you want, just rip people off any way you think of, and free market.
I would be, I'll always have all the respect in the world for Satoshi and whatever he wanted to do in the future and came out and say he proved it and all that stuff. It's all good. Don't care. Great. But it would be very un-Satoshi-like. So say Satoshi decided to come out and proved it, and we knew then who he was.
Right.
Okay. To one, come out, and then to in any level need people to know.
Right.
It's just very un-Satoshi.
Very un-Satoshi. Yeah.
It wouldn't help the movement. It would really turn a lot of people off, and it'd be like, okay, you know what? I don't know. People would be disappointed.
I think so.
It undermines the divine nature of the immaculate freedom and conception. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, there's so much. I still haven't watched that damn
HBO
Netflix or HBO thing. You guys, him and Travis both said I should watch it. I'm kind of like, nah.
It's well produced.
Of course
it's high quality. It's HBO quality. I enjoyed a lot about it in terms of Bitcoin 101 and Bitcoin history. Pretty accurate stuff I hadn't even seen before. A lot you knew, but if you were new to Bitcoin, it'd be like, it's about electronic money, and you'd sort of be into Bitcoin. You'd be like, oh, Bitcoin's cool.
Yeah.
It follows Samson Mao, and you see nation states getting into it, and the movement. All that is really cool. And then I think it's like the producer felt like he just had to have some kind of a hook.
Yeah.
And so it's a very contrived twist, easily debunkable. It's no good theory at all. It's really weak, and in fact, you could just it's largely bullshit at it on the surface.
Right.
If you just look at all into kind of questioning
anything,
if you wanted to argue, dig into it, just be like, this is so weak. So I enjoyed it up to the point that it kind of pushes hard on
some narrative.
What's his face about having commented to Satoshi on a thing, and they make it sound like a really technical conclusion of a thought. No, it's just kind of a actually kind of a little tech troll saying actually Satoshi, it wouldn't be this.
Right.
It's not a brilliant concept. Yeah. It's like you could say, yeah, we know. He was just making a broader point.
Right.
It's just kind of cheesy and silly, and
it's chilly,
and it was chilly. Ultimately, and it just doesn't matter. And then, and also, so say it was something really good and conclusive. I would judge that in the sense of like, why you got to say it? Just let it be. Yeah. Let Bitcoin be. Let Satoshi be. Yeah. And the guy is telling you, I am not Satoshi. Bitcoiners are going to laugh at you.
All right.
And
just go pound sand.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Idiots.
This kid is not Satoshi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to make their money somehow.
It gave it that little hook and twist. If you knew nothing about Bitcoin, it's like, oh, Bitcoin 101, Bitcoin history, and oh, maybe he's Satoshi.
Right.
I'm kind of curious now. It's just bullshit.
Well, what's cool about it is like HBO made a movie about Bitcoin. Like it's the last 2 years have just been absolute insanity. If you've been around Bitcoin for any length of time, and you have failed to pause and just look at the landscape right now and go, hey, how's the Bitcoin landscape looking? Like, these are unheard of, unimaginable things have been happening over the last 2 years. Like, go back 10 years, right? Go back to like 2014 when Mt. Gox was imploding and people were, like this was still funny money, Beanie Babies kind of thing. And just say, hey, 10 years from now, this is going to be a major topic in a presidential election. Mm-hmm. This is going to be something where BlackRock guy is going to be shilling Bitcoin on CNBC. This is going to be the kind of thing where nation states are adopting Bitcoin. That's going to happen 100% in 10 years.
Yeah.
People would have laughed at you like you're a lunatic. They go, that's never going to happen. It'll be 50 years before something like that happens. And now it's like right now. It's happening. It's all. Oh,
yeah, it was like year by year, some amazing kind of strides and breakthroughs were happening. Now it's like month by month. It's like
it's day by day.
So
it's insane.
The Overton window is steadily just shifting, where like a year, 2 years ago.
He sent that in a message. He's been trying to squeeze that in for the last 10 minutes.
It came up. I think of the Overton window, even with my wife. Say your rich uncle a year ago or 2 years ago, it shifted from laughing at you to saying, well, I don't want to believe it, but you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, well, shit, I wish I'd have listened to my nephew a year or two ago.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, I was never against it.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the way it always goes. I wasn't dumb.
Yeah.
I always knew. I just...
The way the Overton window works and the psychology of it, I think, is that if, say, people, the way free will works is that people make their own irrational emotional decisions, and their ego convinces them that they know why and that they're making decisions for reasons. You do what you want to do as a human animal, and then you look back on what you did and you rationalize it as if it was something that made sense and that you had thoughts about it.
Right.
Versus the Overton window shifts, you're trying to stay on the tide and you rationalize decisions you made or opinions you have as if they were rational. And you're just keeping up with the Overton window. And when you're allowed to believe certain things now, like, oh, nation states should be adopting this now. Oh, that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it always kind of made sense, I guess. And a year ago or 2 years ago, it'd be like, yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you forget that,
right,
because it didn't fit your window.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the Overton window has always been sort of a euphemism for just popularity, right?
It's a popularity thing.
Well, it's just like, hey, I got a new idea for a thing. And people go, that's stupid, I hate it, I don't like it, it's new, it's different, I don't want it. That's it, right? That's every new idea that's ever happened. Elon Musk came out and said, I want to make electric cars. I want to start a car company. Hey, you can't do that, stupid. No, every car. There's always like 14,000 opinions about why it is whatever you're thinking about doing is fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. And then people like Elon Musk just shift popular thinking. Mm-hmm. Well, they just show, actually, it can be done. Oh, okay, cool. But that's every political, that Overton window. Someone says, hey, we should come up with a thing like the income tax. That's stupid. It's terrible. I can't do that. And they do. And then all of a sudden now it's shifted so far away from, now people just accept that, hey, you have to give up half your shit just to exist. All the time
in every direction for whatever reason we come up with.
Just give me half. I want half, Eddie.
And if we can't get it that way, you didn't even know we were printing money and everything's getting more expensive. And we didn't even tax you. We took it from you, though.
Yeah.
That Overton window, I guess, I think that's where some of the shift is happening, is that people realize.
I don't think anybody's realizing that.
Maybe not. I guess I'm naive, but.
No, you're not naive.
But if it just.
You're the opposite of naive. All those other people are naive.
I give people more credit than.
Yeah.
I mean, so I give people credit that they're noticing.
They're not noticing.
Ultimately, it's just like.
They're morons. These people are.
The grocery stores are charging us more.
Right.
Damn grocery stores.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They go, these evil grocery stores, look at them raising my prices. How come they're raising prices? But they have zero, and I mean zero understanding of any of the mechanisms behind why grocery prices go up.
Like, and you're still finding deals. You're holding on to kind of what still makes sense on numbers.
They're clipping coupons and.
Yeah, Hey, if I buy 3 of these, I get free shipping. I'm saving money.
Yeah, somehow.
So
by buying 3 times as much.
Or like I can find this. There's this alternative here. We can settle for that. It's a deal still. It's the price I remember. It's garbage, but we can eat it.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just nothing but garbage.
Yeah.
It's a trash society we exist in now. But nobody understands, dude. Nobody I wish the world was waking up to like the fiat lie and all that kind of stuff, and everybody was reading Lynn Alden's book, and everybody was reading Safadine's book, and everyone was reading my book. No one's reading my book, but
they will.
They will.
It'll be
it's a slow burn.
Handful of Bitcoin books out there. It's gonna, when the Great Realignment's happening, it's gonna be like, it'll be referred to as an original alignment text. Like, did you ever read the original, like, the first foundational alignment book?
Yeah. Right here, buddy.
It came
that
from
was
here.
Me. Yeah. We'll see.
We're going to make history.
I hope so. That would be dope, dude. Wouldn't it?
Can you, in a fantasy world, some futuristic thing where, who were the people that were early into Bitcoin just doing whatever? The visionaries.
Yeah.
The geniuses. They had the geniuses. Guys like
these two midwits are sitting here just like, Bitcoin good. I wrote a book.
Number going up.
Number go up good. Yeah.
But when you
we're historic visionaries.
Well, so that double-edged feeling we always have, where we're early and we were late. We're perpetually late and we're perpetually early. When I first got into it, when I realized what the hell was going on, I was like, my God, I'm so late. I was so late. I'm smarter than this. I could have known. I should have known better. I was ready.
Yeah.
In 2014, I had an opportunity and I skipped it because I'm like, what is that? What's that game? Mount Gox.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this card game? Trading.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I missed the opportunity way back when, and I ignored it for another 7 years.
Right.
And in hindsight, it's like, I'm so much smarter than that. I just didn't have the right mentor or help, and I was too busy.
Yeah.
And it's like stupid.
Yeah.
It'll be, so then I think 2020 for me was so late, and in hindsight, I feel like more and more people will be like, God, that crazy Fritz was talking about back in like 20. You remember he said something about 2021? He was talking about it.
Yeah.
He's early. He was so early.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
well,
I mean, now maybe kind of yes, I guess, but and a psychopath.
No.
Bitcoin psychopath.
Bitcoin good. Fiat bad. I was in Bitcoin in 2010, right? Like, and I blew that up. I mean, I still think back to that time. I probably would have been a big blocker, dude. Like, I probably would have gotten on board. Like, because I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of their arguments kind of sound plausible, and they I mean, like, I could have seen myself going down the wrong path very easily.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm not lucky, like, financially from, like, getting rid of my Bitcoin in 2010. But I'm certainly much more appreciative of Bitcoin today, because had I had to grow up with it, like, emotionally, mentally, all that kind of stuff, I think it would have been a different path that would have woven me to where I am now, right?
Certainly.
And right now, I have a very deep philosophical, fundamental appreciation of Bitcoin that I don't think would have been present had I just been riding the little number go up train the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know that you could have had that unless you're really a certain kind of a genius on a philosophical level or with a deep understanding of history and economics. I would have been early into it, hot and like pro Bitcoin, and just wanting it to work and being like, oh yeah, maybe big blocks make sense. We want this to work. Right. Medium of exchange, right? Read the white paper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you'd be wrong. And when it hit $10,000, you'd be like, oh yeah, sure. I'm going to buy that apartment.
Right. Yeah.
I still got some.
100%, dude. I mean,
it's easy to judge in hindsight, but I don't. So like people will trash on Jameson Lopp about being a big blocker back in the day, or entertaining things about non-Bitcoin shitcoin. And I don't judge it too harshly because
you can't.
Yeah, what would I have done way back then? Probably similar.
I would have done all kinds of dumb shit. Yeah. But, like, I'm happy with where I ended up in the Bitcoin journey, for sure. I very much value my appreciation of Bitcoin right now, right? And it was hard fought, and it was hard won, and it was earned. It wasn't just like, oh, I kind of YOLO'd on this thing way back in the day. I mean, the people that made it early in Bitcoin were the handful of like really rare, thoughtful people like Max Kaiser, who was just like, this is the shit, I'm getting in on this, and wrote it, held it, believed it, understood it, got it right out of the gate. I wasn't one of those people. Like, I was more like speculator, gambler, like, oh, maybe I'll get rich quick guy back when I had Bitcoin. Yeah. And the second I experienced any loss with it, I bailed on it. Like, just immediately. Like, I just gave up on the whole project. Like, this is all magic internet money, fuck this. And left, right? So, you know, to kind of look at that and then sort of watch the price and all that kind of stuff and go, man, I could have been like doing really well if I had just held on to it. But the other people that held on to it were just like, I don't know, I'm going to buy some to see what happens. And they just put it away and they didn't think about it again until 10 years later. And they went, hey, I'm rich. What do you know? Oh, that's cool. I guess I'll just go do shit I want to do now. I mean, like, it's either you had to be a rocket surgeon or you had to be it's like that little, the curve. The curve. It's like the mouth breather drooler, just like buy Bitcoin, and then like the Zen Buddha guy at the end, buy Bitcoin, and then I was the midwit guy, 100% in the middle, just like, oh, well, speculate and this and that, and I can trade in and blah, 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 you know. Yeah, just would have been disastrous. So
yeah,
I don't know. We're lucky. You're early.
You're early, and in a way, I feel like I was late, and
you're early.
When I figured it out, finally as I did, I wrote it up. That made it easy.
Oh yeah.
Joined for the number, and then I wrote it down.
Ooh.
And that's a test of, core
faith,
base principles for sure.
Sure.
And then you write it back up, and so now to a point where I feel like, oh, not Jedi-ish that I'm on the curve at, but I could write it back down, and I'd still be like,
well, I'm okay with that now. Like, I mean, like, for me, if it went all the way back to 12K, I would just be licking my chops, dude. Like, I would be the happiest guy on planet Earth. Like, people are like, oh my Bitcoin. I'd go like, no, this is amazing. Are you kidding me? I'm going to have so much Bitcoin now.
Yeah. I know.
But,
I'll never see 50K again.
I never say never, man. I drew a chart. I used to chart shit. I used to day trade. I did all that kind of stuff. I actually got okay at it. I wasn't like some super genius, but I've still got a line on my chart on TradingView.
Yeah.
And there's an intersecting point where Bitcoin, I say, hey, if it reverts to the trend over the 10-year trend, you could very easily see like a 35K Bitcoin again. Like, easily. Without a stretch, you could see a 35K Bitcoin. Which I would be like this. Yay!
You have a better perspective from a lot of the TradFi and the economics stuff. I'm always kind of mystified by the Bitcoin price when I'll see ETF numbers, inflows, and
there's people
apparently
trading that
purchases,
shit,
and then I know some of it's over the counter and not spot and all that. I'll see big amazing news. Whoa, hundreds of millions bought, and the price goes down. I'm like, I don't understand how this works. Yeah. And then Saylor announces with the master talking about, we will buy 42 billion of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I've seen two things. I've seen formulas on it where they're buying it OTC and it doesn't immediately impact the price, and it's a trickle down in a way on the price. And it budges, so 42 billion, wow, and it budges the price a couple thousand.
Right. Well, I mean, but think of it like this: like, how many of those great big buildings have you seen over the last year on Twitter? Like, this building sold for $150 million in 2019. Last week, it sold for $6 million. Right. The price of real estate did not just suddenly, right, because of those fire sale deals on these enormous real estate holdings, right? But it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Somebody somewhere bought it, somebody somewhere sold it. That's sort of it, right? Mm-hmm. And in terms of it's not until spot buyers come into the market that the prices that you and I are watching go up. Mm-hmm. Spot buyers don't come into the market until they're flush with cash. And they are flush with cash usually, like the last time they were flush with cash is because the government was helicoptering out paychecks, and people that had jobs that they were working from home and didn't need that money went, oh, I'm going to YOLO into Bitcoin. And you got a huge price spike out of it, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, the next one, they have to helicopter money somewhere, and that's the whole Bitcoin thesis is like they're going to print Bitcoin soaks that up. That's it. I mean, if you can just boil it down to that very, very simple premise, they cannot do anything but print. They must print at all costs.
Yeah. There's no one digging ourselves out of the hole at this point.
Yeah, you cannot unfuck this pig, as it were. So,
your mom's gonna be so.
I know she's not gonna like that term. Unfuck a pig. Dang, what is my son talking about? Christ.
What did you say about pigs?
Pray for him, Jesus.
And then I've seen other imaginations about Bitcoin price and like what limited liquid supply of coins there are left on exchanges or elsewhere. If people are, if there's 42 billion that were to be bought on the market, my God, Bitcoin should 10x.
Right, if anybody was buying it off an exchange.
Yeah,
but there are people in the world right now that will just on a whim sell like 5,000 Bitcoin. They just go, I'm going to sell like 5,000 Bitcoin today. What for? I don't know.
Because I got a dumb 10,000 of them.
Because I got a truck ton of them, and I don't care.
I mean, I don't know the profile of the whales out there. There's a lot of variously anonymous whales.
You can track those wallets, man. Like,
I guess you can track the wallets. I don't know who they are, or how they buy and sell, or what they're doing. I just imagine a lot of people got lucky and have been selling ever since. And when the price goes up a little bit, let's just sell a little more. They're just rich. Yeah, and they don't care.
Right. Exactly like the people that buy and sell those great big buildings, and the people that buy and sell yachts.
Sure.
Like, the yacht market doesn't fluctuate with every purchase. The real estate market doesn't fluctuate with every purchase. Mm-hmm. The Bitcoin market doesn't fluctuate with every purchase. So there's, like, people keep looking at exchanges and go, hey, these whales just bought X amount. There's hardly any left on an exchange. I go, yeah, because the whales aren't buying from the exchange. They're going to, it's like if I came to you and said, hey, man, sell me some Bitcoin. You went, okay, how much does it move the price on the exchange? 0. Because we didn't exchange on an exchange, and there's no arbitrage opportunity. There's no nothing. It's just there. So of course someone's not going to go drop all the liquidity on Kraken or Coinbase or something like that so they can score their bags, because they couldn't even buy. And the second they said, hey, I'd like to buy 1,000 Bitcoin from Coinbase, please, their purchase price is just going to go right. Mm-hmm. So who's going to do that? They do not want to lock in a price where they get the first 10 Bitcoin for 60 grand, and then the next 10 Bitcoin for 65, and then the next, for 70, and then 75, and then 80, and so they're paying like 120,000 a coin. They're not going to do that. That would be lunacy if you had that kind of size that you wanted to move. So you go find someone that's willing to sell that. There's over-the-counter market making. That's it.
There's rumors that an OTC desk is like running out of their liquid Bitcoin to do those deals. I don't know what I believe. Miners, looking at the long-term business prospects, they're under pressure mining, so they mine Bitcoin and they're selling Bitcoin. So, that's some downward pressure maybe.
Potentially. I think I'm going to start a Bitcoin mine too. That's the next thing I'm going to do. I swear to God. No, check it. No, we're closed. Go away. Knucklehead. Some guy trying to barge in on our show, man.
We're sitting in a bar and our lights in here are on, and somebody wanted a beer here at 11 o'clock.
11:30 in the morning.
12.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Hey, if I was walking,
they're back.
They're back. It's entertaining having a window at a business front here in downtown, and people look in the window. Or there's a nut sitting on the front bench.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. We had a nut bag out there.
There was a guy trying to get in the door, like, and we're just like,
speaking of nut bags, there goes a nut bag now.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to get
our town has its share of unhinged, funny people, but
the whole world's full of them.
What were we saying?
OTC exchanges.
Yeah. I had a point to make, and
I bet you it was a good one.
It was really sharp too.
Yeah. Hey man, I am not worried. Sooner or later, there's going to come a point when people are going to hold. And they will probably hold when the money printer comes on full tilt. And that's when you get that YOLO thing on the exchanges. That's when all the plebs come in and start, bidding up their Bitcoin. That's when you get your little price move. But like Samson Mao has pointed out, it's not that far to get to like $1 million coin. Like, it really isn't. It's like literally, 10, 12x from here, and you're there. Like, and a 10x in Bitcoin is not an unheard of event, right?
Yeah.
So, but
whatever law theory you're you follow about it. I mean, when those kinds of buys occur in that certain way, yeah, I mean, 10x, 20x. Historically, it's been a cycle in that regard, and there's a feeling here with all the current sort of cyclical, looking back on it, we've been in this flat zone that is followed historically by one of these booms.
Right. Just watch the M2, man. That's all you got to do. Like,
yeah,
Bitcoin price, lay it. Just go get on whatever charting software you use, and
mirror it to the M2.
Yeah, put it with the M2, and you go, oh, everything goes up with the M2. Weird. Bitcoin no different. Bitcoin same. Bitcoin good, fiat bad.
And
it's a Liberty Live Bitcoin conference. It's going to be titled Bitcoin good, fiat bad.
Yeah. And I think
I'm derailing Fritz today.
Well, so I think one thing that has proven Bitcoin out is that it kind of broke free of what stocks often did to an extent. Like stocks would do their thing and Bitcoin would remain like, it would go down too, but then it would break free of that,
right,
and do its own thing.
It's a very low correlation.
It's different from stocks.
Correlates sometimes.
Yeah, and then
during bubbles it correlates pretty well.
I could also see it start to break free at some point from M2.
No,
maybe
impossible.
No? Never?
Impossible. Because the M2 drives everything. That is the inflationary thing, right?
What if between things going on globally with BRICS and Bitcoin standardization-ish stuff happening, that M2 becomes less relevant as a lever on everybody else? And it'll have an effect, but Bitcoin becomes its own, like, no. Like, forget the dollar. Everybody's just getting in if you can, where you can.
Maybe.
And it breaks free.
Potentially. I don't really see it in the short term. Probably not in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Just because of the preeminence of the dollar in global trade. But the M2 drives everything, right? Like all valuations of everything. That tracks near perfectly. But if you look at the M2 and then you compare it to all the other major economies, they're all debasing their currencies in coordination, right? So there are some that are debasing faster than we are. Most are debasing faster than we are, which is sort of crazy to think about considering how fast we're debasing. But
I was just going to say, imagine being in another country where the dollar is like the safe bet.
Oh yeah.
And in terms of your country's currency, if you're looking at Bitcoin, it'd be like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. This is madness.
It's not like, we've, in terms of the dollar, this year's been so hard. We went from 30 to 70. Sounds great.
Yeah.
If you're in another country, it'd be like, you'd be looking at your fiat numbers, going, it went from like 100,000 to 500,000 of our shit.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. How do you ignore it?
You can't. I mean, it's, but the thing is it's all fiat denominated price action that we're talking about, right? So if you take the inverse of that and you start going, what's the Bitcoin denomination? Like, as Jeff Booth always says, everything is going down if you price in Bitcoin. Like, everything is continually trending to zero in Bitcoin terms. So it just kind of depends on your measuring stick. I mean, like when we talk about a number go up on $1 million Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff, it just means everything in the world just got exponentially shittier.
Housing is a clear one where it's like the price of your average house be like, in the last 4 or 5 years it went from average median house price of 270 something thousand went up to 450.
All right.
Good market to be in.
Oh yeah.
Cost of Bitcoin for say your average house, it went from like, I don't know, in the hundreds of Bitcoin to
fractions.
15, a dozen.
Yeah.
That's like,
right.
Wow, it's worth a lot less Bitcoin for a house.
Yeah. Where do you put your money? Where do you put your productivity is the real question. So, the faster you convert your productivity to Bitcoin, the better off you'll be in the long term. Yep. That's the core thesis. They print, you buy Bitcoin with it, easy money. Easy. Yep. Easiest goddamn trade in the world. I don't know, man.
That's where, I like 80% IQ, stay humble, stack sats. With bricks, Matt Odell said something on the last Rabbit Hole recap about bricks, and they're trying their own thing, and they're still kind of stuck in a fiat brain world.
Oh yeah.
And if they would, or gold, they're going with maybe a gold backed everything. Okay, I guess that's a step. It's sort of like if they would just see Bitcoin and go with Bitcoin, they would solve so many of their problems. They don't have to like horse trade gold shit and secure that.
But they would lose control over monetary policy.
Yeah, it's about control for them.
Sure. Or they would just debase against. I mean, the paper claims would far exceed the Bitcoin claims within a year. But the same thing is going to happen with the gold. If they try and back it with gold, the paper claims on the gold will far exceed the gold within a year. Like that's just the way it goes, man. Like
fractional reserve gold holdings.
Yeah, but it'll be fractional reserve Bitcoin holdings. Because like if you could verify the float against the Bitcoin, then it wouldn't be any different than just having the Bitcoin, right? So like if you had a mechanism to ensure that they couldn't print any more paper than there was Bitcoin, then why would you need the paper? Right?
Yep.
So the only purpose of paper is to separate it from the underlying asset, right? And there is no way to audit paper to ensure that it is one-to-one backed by the Bitcoin. Because if you could, then you've just created a second Bitcoin is all you've done, right? So what would be the point in using it? Just use Bitcoin at that point.
Right. Just use Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so like what do we need the dollar for? Okay, BRICS has their own thing. What do we need BRICS for? We got Bitcoin.
Well, if it was Bitcoin backed, it would be pointless, right? Like either they're going to expand beyond, their claims are going to get bigger than the Bitcoin they have, or they just have a Bitcoin version 2 called BRICS, right? But it's sort of, Bitcoin will never back a currency. How about that? That's my core thesis. If it did, you're getting hustled, you're getting scammed. If you're using that currency and thinking you're going to be able to redeem it for Bitcoin, you're a bonehead. You may as well go put your money back in Celsius.
What about your MicroStrategy stocks? Getting in on MicroStrategy backed by Bitcoin?
I don't gamble on anything.
Me either. I know I see numbers go up, but then it's like, I love Sailor. I don't even know what MicroStrategy does, like most people, but it sort of maybe doesn't matter.
They have like
they have revenue.
Mediocre software business that I think is just barely surviving. Well, I mean, he said out loud, our business was barely surviving. Now we're thriving just by buying and being a Bitcoin trading house.
And as much as I may love and trust Sailor and MicroStrategy and the business direction Bitcoin they're going, it's counterparty risk.
Yeah, 100%.
You're taking on paper certificates for counterparty risk, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I could get rich quicker, but for me, I'm not calling it a shitcoin. I'm just saying I don't gamble. Gamble.
I mean, I appreciate people like playing the stock market and goofing around and doing that kind of shit, but it's not for me, man. I'm going with the 80 IQ play. Just stay humble, stack sats, see what happens.
Me too.
Came for the revolution, as they say. God dang it, I can't wait. I got a prototype of my product in my hands.
Just lift it up and show it how.
And I've been like just sitting here clicking away on it, just going, I can't wait until this thing's done.
I think it's ready to show off.
I do not. I disagree fundamentally. It's pretty close, though. It's a pretty exciting little innovation I think I got here.
You'll see it at your next conference.
Yeah. Hopefully a Bitcoin Mina. That's a very serious short-term goal I have right now, is figuring out how to get this thing over to the United Arab Emirates. I just want to see it, man.
You'll have sheiks in robes, like.
I will take 10,000. I will
take 10,000 of those, thank you.
And I'll go,
I need a month?
Yeah. Well, actually, I would need about 3, unfortunately.
And then you wouldn't have to worry about anything, though.
I definitely would not have to worry
other than shipping and supply chain.
No, my next thing would be I want to do my Bitcoin mine. I'm going to make a gravity battery, dude.
What?
A gravity battery.
What is that?
Do you not? Okay, so here's the thing. There's a working model in the United Kingdom right now. They take this like massive, like 500-ton weight or something like that, and they suspend it and they attach it to generators, and then they just let gravity pull it down, and it generates power from these generators, right? So the problem they have is to get that thing back up takes a certain amount of energy too, right? So what they're trying to balance is like how much energy they generate from dropping the weight versus how much it takes to bring the weight back up. So I looked at this and I thought...
Free energy?
No.
Oh.
Well, it's very expensive to set all that shit up, right? Because But it's technically free. Like you're just using gravity to generate electricity. So you have a big weight. You have weight drops, spins generator makes power. You got to bring the weight back up, drop it down again.
Just with entropy, I'm trying to imagine a perpetual motion machine.
There is no perpetual motion machine.
Right.
So the trade-off is you have to expend energy to get the weight back up, right? So what I have started tinkering with as an idea lately is to do a hybrid battery. Meaning, you take something like a 1974 pickup truck, and you fill the bed full of sand, and you put a chain on the butt end of it, and then wrap that around a pulley, and then let the truck just slowly roll down a hill and pull that generator, generate a shitload of electricity. When it runs the end of its travel, fire it up, back the truck up, start the process anew, fire it up. And I think if you got the gearing right, you could make that so that process would take about 24 hours for the truck to get to the end of its travel. I don't possess sufficient engineering knowledge to figure out all the math to make that happen, but I think I could tinker my way towards it.
So it's like the cost of gas, the cost of an intern to
No, not an intern. It's just me on my property somewhere.
Wake up in the morning and drive the pickup up.
Back up and then crank the chain up and
then how much energy does that produce and what is that worth? But you're running Bitcoin.
Well, the thing is if you had that power generation thing, because the cost to start your pickup truck and back it up once a day, I think would be a nominal expense, right? Probably a tank full of gas every 3 months.
Sure.
Right? If that.
Maybe, yeah.
So, but if you're generating 1 megawatt of electricity, you've got a lot of Bitcoin mining that can occur while that electricity is running. And if you connected it to a battery source so you could store enough of it to keep your mines running while you're backing the truck up, you would have a job where your job every day in the morning is you sip a cup of coffee, go take a dump, go fire up your pickup truck, drive it up the hill, put it in neutral, walk away, and then the next day you do the same thing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then if you want to go on vacation, you just go, you park your truck at the bottom of the hill, you shut down the Bitcoin mine and go on vacation. And then you come back and boot everything back up again and start the process anew. The thing is best I can tell, it requires, to be a profitable Bitcoin mine, where you could be pulling 1 Bitcoin a month kind of thing. I don't know how many kilowatt hours you need. I think it's pretty significant. But I think it's completely doable with a hybrid gravity battery setup, as I've described.
Interesting. I had not thought of that concept before.
I don't think very many people have, because there would be no reason to do it other than, there are tons of people that make gravity batteries, right, where you could go do this right now. You can go put up a little stand, hang a weight from it, and then put a little model engine, DC rotor engine, right, and just drop it, and you'll see current will come out of it.
Sure.
No problem, right? You could charge something. You could power a light with it all day long. Just zip, zip. But the problem is scaling that up. But if you had something like a 4,000-pound truck pulling on, I don't know what it takes to move one of those windmill rotors, the ones that sit on top of the big energy generating rotors.
Yeah, I think they're geared so that depending, if there's a mild breeze, they're geared low and they can just
get they can alter.
If it's high wind, they gear down. And
well, some of them are direct drive, some of them have a gearing thing in there or whatever. But each one of those arms weighs 50 tons, right?
Does it?
Oh yeah, there's something ridiculous, 20 tons, 10 tons, I don't know, they're huge, right? They're massive.
So once they're going, that momentum
really keeps them going. Yeah. So once the wind gets them there, they get going pretty well. And relatively high efficiency. But the thing is those things generate, each wind turbine generates enough electricity. You could easily be running a Bitcoin mine, a profitable Bitcoin mine off just one windmill.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you would need a DC motor quite that big. Right? I think if you had something that produced 1,000 kilowatts, a megawatt, that's not a huge thing. I think the weight of a vehicle would be sufficient to get that thing spinning to whatever RPM you need it to, 200 RPM. And if you geared it right and set everything up right and kind of did your calculations right, I think the weight from a free rolling 4,500 pound pickup truck full of sand would probably be enough to generate sufficient electricity to make a profitable Bitcoin mine.
Yeah, I mean, in African countries, Bhutan, I mean, a lot of hydro, like you got a small waterfall or creek or a little drop in water being heavy, they do it that way with just steady weight, basically gravity weight.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's a momentum battery, but what I'm proposing is similar concept. It's just using the weight of a car instead of the weight of water and the energy of a car. But the beauty of it is getting the car back up the hill. It's got its own power plant that requires a trivial amount of energy to get it back up the hill, right? Like, you know, a cup of gasoline will get you back up the hill. Start the car, put it in reverse, drive, 100 feet back up a hill. And
interesting.
Yeah, that's my next scheme to take over the world. But I figure if you could pull like 1 Bitcoin a month out of your mine.
Well, like a couple of weeks ago.
Well, hell, you only need like 2 Bitcoin a year, and you'd be.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
You'd be doing great, right?
I just randomly was looking at Blockstream, mempool.space, and the blocks and the analysis, all that, and just randomly, I'm seeing Foundry, Antminer, maybe Ocean, and then there was I just kind of scrolled back a little bit, and it was like unknown. Yeah. And there was some news about some rando with who knows what bidax or something.
Yeah, just pulled himself a block. One. Yeah,
like what a lottery! I love seeing that little lottery in there every once in a while. Yeah, because someone who's just got a little rig or whatever in their house is like, woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, that's the dream.
Well, dude, my future bit just died.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it's completely dead. I've had it for 3 months. The thing's kaput. I was like, hey, man, what the hell? Like, thing was before I left to go to Swan and all that kind of stuff, I had left the miner sitting there for a few days, and because I went on that training thing down in Los Angeles, came back, and the miner was off. And I was like, hey, I didn't turn you off. The power switch was still on, but the thing was powered down. So I turned it off, turned it back on, thing booted right up, worked just fine. Okay, cool. I went away for 2 weeks. Came back, and I rebooted the miner before I left. I wanted to be sure like it was a fresh boot. Went away, came back, power switch still on, miner completely turned off. Went, oh, that's no good. Toggle the power switch, fan comes on, does its normal thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it just shut down again. I got an APC hooked up to it. There's no warning signs, no flags, no alerts, nothing. It's been running fine, should have been. Came back 5 minutes later, it was dead again. Wow, that's weird. Hit the power switch, flipped it back over, nothing.
Burned out?
I guess, I don't know. I wrote the future bit guys, and
maybe they'll get you.
They said, oh yeah, well, just send us your original order number, we'll start an RMA. I was like, okay, cool. But then I haven't heard back. I've heard
of them not lasting as long as you overclock them.
I didn't. I was running in moderate settings.
Or if it gets too hot, like airs. I mean, in room temp, it would be fine. But they say, oh, if it was in a closet that got hot, wasn't in if the fan's working too hard or overheats or I don't know. But
I don't know, man. Temperature controlled environment. It was never hotter than 75 degrees in that room. And kaput, just dead as a doornail.
Weird.
So I don't know. I was a little sad by that because right now my lottery mining isn't running. Speaking of being that weirdo, that just anonymous guy that picked up a block, I can't pick up a block right now because my miner's dead.
Can't win the lottery if you're not buying tickets.
That's right.
Playing tickets.
And my tickets are not being played right now. It was kind of fun, like waking up and looking at my little Bitcoin miner and going, hey.
Just knowing you're in it.
Yeah, I was mining my own node too, so I was going to bypass all the pools, everything. It's just mine, all mine. Gimme.
Who was it?
Probably would have got an orphan block. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world to have an orphan block. I won! Yay! Oh, we didn't accept your block. But why? Because someone else had a block.
They double blocked you.
So we just took their block instead of your block.
Abundant Minds had a good training online course, maybe it was an hour long, but it was like setting up your bidax, and it was informative. It was cool.
Are you running a miner yet?
I'm not. I want to, but
you're not doing your duty.
It's easy enough to do. I haven't had room for hobby. I mean, hobby stuff, my interest for a while, doing the basics. But yeah, it was really informative and just like, man, this is quite doable. They showed you how you can you point it at your address and run it however you want. You can point it at a pool. Here's the settings. Easy. Kind of cool. Yeah.
It's nothing to it.
It's awesome.
Everybody should be mining Bitcoin. You should run a node. You should be mining. That's your duty to the network. Fritz. Get a miner, dude. BitX, man. $500.
Yeah, I want to.
It's going to be dope, dude.
Cool.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Good episode.
I think. Who knows? Sounds probably shit. Video's kind of Got too much headspace on our camera.
Week from now, it's going to be a whole different world. We're going to know some things.
Yeah.
The world's going to be changed.
Orange Man back.
Orange Man back.
Or Orange Man off to prison. I don't know.
Orange Man prison.
I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with the Orange Man. I did not find him too impressive before.
His campaign strategies have been amazing. I mean, in a superficial way, but just working at McDonald's, driving a garbage truck, it's like, oh my God, people pay attention to this stuff. It's funny.
Well, I mean, just the fact that the President of the United States of America will get up there and call half the country garbage. It's just like, man, what are you doing, dude? Like, those are your constituents, you fucking potato. Basket of deplorables. That's not what he meant.
He doesn't know what he's saying. He's sucking on baby's feet. Did you see that?
Oh,
the panda bear?
No.
Oh my gosh, on Halloween. Don't look up panda bear stuff related to
Biden.
PEDO stuff because it's deep and dark.
What?
Don't look. Oh, we'll talk offline, but don't look up panda eyes. It's creepy.
What?
So you could say, oh, well, that's just kind of weird. The whole panda bear thing, I'll tell you about it. For your sake, don't look up panda bears.
But the second you say that, that means everyone's going to go look it up.
It's a deep, dark void to peer into, and there's conspiracy stuff to it. Also, it's a little bit like too weird.
What's that got to do with him sucking on feet?
So on Halloween, Jill Biden dressed up like a panda bear.
Oh, jeez.
On one level, a panda bear of all things. In my mind, I think of China.
Right. I think of an idiot animal. Those things are fucking dumb as shit, dude. You ever seen them? I don't know how they survive. Those are the most retarded. They're cute, but they're like dumb as shit. Oh my God, they're dumb as shit. Like they should have been extinct a long time ago. You just watch them and you're just like, fuck, you're an idiot, dude. What are you doing?
Everyone loves a panda bear.
Yeah, but have you ever watched them?
No.
These things, they're dumb as shit. I swear to God, man. Just all you can... if you just go, well, I don't know what this eye thing, but if you just go look up like pandas, like, and just watch how they interact with their environment, it's just like, oh God. I mean, they're literally just like, hey, I wonder if I can hang out on this branch. Bam! Just hit the ground. Oh, I wonder if I can walk on this tile. Bam! Just hit I mean, they're just constantly falling. They're clumsy as shit. They have zero self-awareness. They have zero situational awareness. They're just like, it's a miracle that you guys have lived as long as you have.
That all should sound cute to me, and I think panda bears are cute. I work with sex offenders in my job, and the panda bear, panda eyes thing. It's on the level of code stuff for pizza and hot dogs, that kind of thing.
Oh, man.
It's like that, but worse and real. And so, okay. Of all the choices to dress up in a funny big suit about, it's a panda bear. And then that same day, Biden's doing, families are meeting and greeting, kids in costumes. It's all cute. Which, by the way, Halloween's kind of a delicate day for sex offenders, keeping their lights off and trick-or-treating. But so moms with babies are, little baby dressed up, and Biden's doing the handshaking and the pictures and the hi baby thing.
Right.
Cute and fine. Okay. He sucks on their feet. What? There was a baby. The mom's holding the baby and Biden's like, hi baby. And he puts their foot in his mouth. And he's like,
what?
And this is an infant. And the infant's just like, oh, whatever. But sucking on baby's feet. it doesn't help the whole maybe there's something weird to all this.
The guy is just creepy as shit, dude. Like 100%, like without question.
I don't know how you can. I don't know what's worse, like if you suck on a baby's foot versus sniffing girls' hair and or sniffing people's hair. It's all just kind of like, Grandpa,
stop doing all the things you're doing.
Yeah, Grandpa, just
don't interact with the people, please.
You might love the baby. You might hug the baby. You might hold the baby. You might love the baby.
You don't. You just go, oh, cute baby, hi, and then move on, dude. Like that's.
Yeah. Don't sniff them. Don't suck on them.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Don't.
It's just a little step in a direction that, for me, is a very long, deep, and dark direction of a lot of things I do not want to think about because it's mentally, it wears on your mental illness.
Well, that just the interaction alone is just weird enough, right?
It's
like
weird.
Even if you didn't get down that path, it's just weird. Like all that shit is just weird behavior. It's not like normal.
I know. I want to laugh, and it's also
there's a picture of Keanu Reeves taking a picture with two female fans, right? He's literally just like, look at my hands, not touching anything, like because he's being thoughtful.
You're not going like this,
right? He's not just like, yeah, what's up, chicks? He's not giving any opportunity for anybody to make any sort of inference about. Like George Bush, there was one where I can't remember, it was like a volleyball player or something like that, and she like stuck her booty out at him, and he kind of did this like awkward like backhand, like, oh yeah, good job kind of thing. But it was not like, yeah, and he certainly wasn't sniffing her, and he certainly wasn't, like groping on her. I mean, it was like this because he's aware that there's all kinds of perceptions that can come from contact.
You might feel the love and the sentimental aspect of it all, but just don't do stuff.
Yeah, just don't. You don't have to make contact with other human beings.
Yeah.
Like if you're president, here's the thing. You go, hi, baby. Oh, that's cute. Hey, click. Done. Right? Move on.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a family photo op. Here's my hands. Hey, family. Everybody's happy. Click. Take your picture. Move on. Not sniff, not grope, not pull in, not suck on feet. I don't even know what that means, dude.
That's
our president, theoretically.
So on Halloween at our government office, we had trick-or-treaters come to visit at the county. And we're talking pre-K to maybe kindergarten, maybe, I don't know if it was first grade, but it was little kids, cute as can be.
Right.
With parents and chaperones and stuff.
Sure.
Doing the trick-or-treat thing through our government offices. And so ironically, I had an inflatable bear suit, like a brown bear, just a regular kind of like, if you ever heard of the show Masha and the Bear, it's from that.
I don't know.
Anyway, Masha and the Bear, it's a pretty cool animation. My daughter loves it. And so for Halloween, I had this big bear costume. I myself was literally in this bear costume.
Right.
And the kids love it. And some are kind of like, but when they see when you're a nice bear and other kids are like saying hi and trick or treat and you give them candy, they love it. I mean, kids like love this big Disney
bear thing.
Right. They're naturally sort of attracted and enchanted by it. So I'm in a bear suit, and I'm totally mindful and aware as kids come up to me and they're curious. They want to shake your hand. They come up and they just hug you.
All right.
They just come up and they hug on your leg, or they're like, some of them just love you.
All right.
And I'll shake their hand. I might just kind of like pat their shoulder.
All right.
I'm not like, come here, you little lovey.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Right.
They love you.
Because you're a cartoon.
Yes. Don't get weird, people. Seriously, these are kids.
Well, it's the president. Like the president should know better.
So
the guy should. I mean, they just need to put that guy in a hospital where he belongs, man. Like
I'm sure he's got family and friends that would take care of him, but
maybe. I don't know.
We haven't had a president in a long time, and not that the president was anything but a mascot for a long time, but it's the deep state running.
Oh my God! So. Well, right now, they're Kamala, World War III Harris.
Brace yourselves, folks.
I will pray.
Next episode, we may be talking about a whole new set of interesting events.
Yeah, I might be moving to El Salvador in the next episode. I'm free as a bird right now. I very easily could just go down, knock on Max Kaiser's door, and go, "Hey man, like, can I crash here for a couple of weeks, bro? Like, you guys said move to El Salvador, so I did. Like, what's up?" I'm going, like, "Get off my lawn, man. What are you doing?" But I mean, in all seriousness, I could.
So if there's a blue wave and we have a new continual paradigm of the same old, and everyone, we're going into communities, we're scheduling struggle sessions with everybody. Time to get right. You're either with us or against us. Perpetual war for perpetual peace, and you shall be
indoctrinated.
I'm out, dude. You shall like our austerity. You'll be like,
you shall eat the bugs. I gotta go. I'm gonna bounce, dude.
Yeah.
Why not? I can leave.
Yeah.
I have that option right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go somewhere where they value things like productivity.
That'd be interesting.
Would that be weird? Like, Eastern Europe is looking pretty attractive to me right now. Like, being in the Czech Republic was like, man, this is a breath of fresh air. People are kind of go-getters, and they're not suckers for this whole, like, just unchecked immigration thing and just destroying your entire country so you can satisfy some weird political agenda. Like, they're very resistant to that so far. And you can tell just by the amount of negative rhetoric that gets directed towards them in terms of, like, these nationalists, this and that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's called protecting your country, right? Like, that's cornerstone of the entire nation state system. So yeah, but capitalist kind of leanings but clean and modern and just on the up and up, right?
The Czech Republic in Prague's history grappled with
communism,
sovereign independent needs, and banking,
and they are very, very pro that right now. Like, just the population writ large, like, Bitcoin was a big deal there, and the people that you'd talk to are very, I don't know, like Grafton kid from Voxel, whatever, the peer-to-peer Bitcoin acquisition company.
Mm-hmm.
He's an American kid, been over there 10 years, just loves it, dude. And I was like, maybe I should just go to Prague.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it takes to emigrate or to set up shop there, but dude, it was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful country, and there's, like, I told my administrative assistant I was going to Prague, and she was like, "You got to be careful." I'm like, careful of what? Like,
be careful of those foreign countries.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's a foreign country and a name that was not familiar. It wasn't like I'm going to England.
You hear stories of people that, the exchange student or the tourist comes to America that's like the epitome of what's wonderful in the world, and they get freaking murdered.
Yeah, murdered, raped, kidnapped, shot.
America is not that.
This is a dangerous place, man.
Yeah,
especially for tourists. So yeah, but maybe, I mean, the world is my oyster. We'll see.
Yep.
In about 2 weeks, this super secret thing.
Look, don't show it.
I didn't.
Okay.
Super secret right here. That is going to revolutionize everything.
You'll be free. I'll be healthily jealous.
Oh.
But, well, I'll join
just
you.
Bail,
I'll
dude.
join you.
Just come on down, man. Oh, a little beach house.
Employee number 2.
Yeah.
3. Some
2.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Excited. Next week, amazement and news.
I'm going to do my Trump dance.
America.
That guy's a badass, though. I'll tell you what, man.
Like, he's resilient and he's got energy.
like
Rogan, he and JD Vance, they each did 3 hours on Rogan.
Yeah, nonstop. Rogan said the guy would just sit there and just go. Like, and you think, like, you look at Kamala right now, and just her face is all ragged, and her eye bags. Kami Harris. She looks ragged. Like, she's getting wrecked by the road, dude.
Well, in a couple of speeches she's had where the teleprompter stops, or whatever the issues they have with the teleprompter, or they stop it when there's crowd interaction or something happens.
Right.
And then she'll be like, she looks
like
you're watching, it's like she's getting nervous, like the teleprompter stopped, and she'll be like, moving forward.
Yeah.
I can't say my next thing, and okay, there it is. word salad, salad, word salad.
Yeah.
It's like,
yay. Yay.
Oh.
Right. I mean, that, and people are still buying into that, dude. Like, that's the only problem with Trump is he's made so many people hate him, like, deeply. Which I get on one level because he says some crazy shit sometimes, but I don't know, man. I hope he wins. It's going to be a mess if he doesn't.
I think either way, we're going to have half the country in their derangement, and something will be caught on fire.
I don't know, man.
I don't advocate violence. I just don't see. I do foresee, per the Constitution, a peaceful transfer of power, one way or another, that a new president will be selected and appointed and swear their oath. It'll happen, and it'll be largely peaceful-ish.
Largely peaceful riot.
A largely peaceful riot.
Yeah.
That the process will continue. I also think that dumpsters will be burned.
Maybe.
Somewhere.
It's not like the dumpsters were burning when he got elected last time. The dumpsters started burning after the guy got killed, right?
Yeah.
So
that was sort of a point of
contention. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that was sort of like also the death of the mainstream media. Like, that was when it became very obvious to anybody who was not completely, like, bought it out, that isn't a complete NPC, where they could literally watch a city burning in the background and someone standing on camera going, mostly peaceful. That shit's on fire, like right behind you. There's people like throwing bottles and, there's nothing peaceful about that frame that you're standing in. No, it's mostly peaceful. I mean, yeah, they're burning and looting a little bit. Like, what are you talking about?
The fascists are anti-fascist people.
Yeah,
they're Antifa. The fascists are Antifa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the totalitarians are the left right now. It's just Dick Cheney supports Harris. Just think about that for a second. Dick Cheney, the epitome of the neocons. Darth Vader.
Darth Vader endorsed Leia, Princess Leia.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wait a
dude.
second. What's going on?
Yeah, they've really lost the plot in America. Anyway, on that note,
elections, everybody, go vote.
Bye. I did.
I did too.
Trump. Okay, toodles.
Bye.